In Peru, the political factor has played a determining role in the decisions taken by the judiciary against the former president, Pedro Castillo. However, the mobilizations along some United Nations recommendations on human rights violations in the protests and the lack of due process to remove him from office could be favorable for his judicial future. Our correspondent Ramiro Angulo Maquiavelo has the details.
The place where the former president, Pedro Castillo, has been serving 36 months of preventive imprisonment, but for his legal defense, the former head of state is unjustly imprisoned because the due process to vacate him was not respected and because he also managed to get the forgotten sectors of the country to enter national politics.
Political participation and popular will are being criminalized. And the fact that sectors that did not have a presence in national politics have entered the political scene through Pedro Castillo is being criminalized.
Although the political factor has been crucial in judicial decisions against Castillo, criminal lawyer Carlos Rivera does not rule out that the alleged acts of corruption against the former president could lead to a conviction in the long term.
Beyond the case of the coup d'etat, I believe that this combination of acts of investigation and evidence that the prosecutor's office has been able to find, which shows that Castillo will probably face a conviction, not now because there are investigations that are formally still in a stage in which the public ministry is completing an investigation stage, but I imagine that this is not going to change in the immediate future.
Despite the internal inconveniences for former President Castillo, on April 5, the UN Human Rights Committee reiterated that the Congress did not respect the due process to vacate him and that extrajudicial executions were committed in the government of Dina Boluarte, for which the government will have to respond around the end of April.
Otherwise, the next round of sessions of the committee will show that they are not going to respect the recommendations of the report. And that this disrespect, this insubordination to the Covenant on Civil and Political Rights could have consequences such as the commissioning of high-level commission to investigate the facts in Peru. Or this issue could also go to the United Nations Human Rights Council, which is already a political body with much greater weight and sanctioning powers.
For criminal lawyer Antonio Castillo, the government of Castillo Terrones made several mistakes and questions the fact that Patricia Benavides is in charge of an entity that has received complaints in the investigations for the nearly 70 deaths during this government.
The prosecutor should not be sitting there because it's already evident that she has a lot to say and that she is hiding a lot about her degrees and her title that, at the time, allowed her to accumulate the maximum score to become creditor and deserving of the position she has as a representative of legality and society from the public ministry. However, with all the questionings over her, she's still sitting there deciding over justice, the destinies and the freedom of thousands of Peruvians.
Thus, the upcoming mobilizations and protests against the government of Dina Boluarte could be a determining factor in the judicial future of Pedro Castillo.
Ramiro Angulo Maquiavelo, teleSUR, Lima.